Hello and welcome back to the Pointy Ears podcast. I'm very sad to be saying that I'm doing this video alone. James is sick. He's no Vince Venturella. So I'll just be plodding on myself. I really wanted to share a little bit of this list idea. It's a little bit related to last time, but I hope you'll like it. So on the screen, you'll see that I've got a picture of an old school Chaos Dwarf cannon, a Hell cannon. And I kind of miss the old days of, Chaos getting a little bit of a ranged threat. I mean, what have we got in all of Chaos? Apart from Skaven, not counting Skaven just today. We have Blitzbarb Archers, Marauder Horsemen with Javelins, Corvus Cabal has some minor shooting. That's about it. We're kind of shy on the shooting end. So, like, I've got a little bit of a sort of range thing that I'm going to bring in today. So, right, new Ogre book came out, okay? And if you've been reading up on it, you'll know that they've kept this ability from the old book, but it's just more hyped now. I know this isn't new, but it's more hype now for sure. So they've got this ability, Trampling Charge, which means when they make a charge, depending on your charge roll, you got to throw that many dice, and for each 6-up, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. And pretty much every time, it's not going to be a 6-up, it'll be either a 5-up or a 4-up, which makes it super cool. You're going to do lots of damage just on the charge before you even hit the combat phase. And oh man, with Chaos Warriors like this, we are shy of mortal wounds. There are not many ways to do mortal wounds in the entirety of our book. There's Varanguards with swords. If you take I think it's the ensorcelled. No, it's not ensorcelled weapons. It's the demon forged, whatever it's called. Then on 6s you get mortals, but you don't take them. You take the spears, the fell spears. The other way is we have a spell which goes off in 3s, and then that could do some mortal wounds. And again, it's not very good in every case because it's only a little bit of mortal wounds. And if it gets unbound, then you're going to take some damage yourself. It's a little bit risky. So it's like, where do our mortal wounds come from? And here's the thing. We've got this ability. So this is the Chaos Chariot. And if you look at its ability, Swift Death, after this unit makes a charge move, you can pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of this unit and roll a number of dice equal to the charge roll for that charge move. And for each 5-up, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. This is amazing! This is the same ability, and it's on a really cheap unit. Ogre units are not as cheap as this. Chaos Chariot costs 100 per. And that is it, 100. It's really cheap. We can spam this. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you should take 15 Chaos Chariots, but maybe there's something we can do. And this makes me a very happy boy. And here's happy Daniel, just chilling out there. He loves it. He's well happy to see this. Also important to note is this is on the Chaos Chariot. It's fast. A little bit hard to see because it's been cut off at just the worst point, but it's a 12-inch move, and it's got the ability Don't Spare the Lash, which means on the time that you're going to use this to get your mortal wounds, it can run and charge. So we're going to get going real fast. It can shoot up the board and just get in exactly where your opponent does not want it. So this is what's happening. This is our range thing. Here's our cannon, and it's not shooting cannonballs. Pew! There goes the Chaos Chariot. Off he goes. All right, so that's the entire concept that we're going to try and use for us. So how can we make this even better? Because right now that's 2d6. So that's average 7. And only 5-ups of mortal wounds. So that's like 2 and a bit mortal wounds. Who cares? Well, let's make it a bit better. Right, so first of all, let's give our guy the Mark of Khorne. Okay. Why would we do that? That just gives us extra attacks on the charge, right? I mean, that's okay, but that's not the reason why. It's so we can use the bloodstoker. He's my favorite model right now, I swear. I really like allying him in to our Khorne. He's only 80 points. He's a steal. And what he does is when you're in your, at the start of your movement phase, he's going to pick a Khorne mortal unit that's wholly within 8. And then that unit gets +3 to run and +3 to charge. And remember, our Chaos Chariot has run and charge by default. So unlike my previous list, you don't have to be in Knights of the Empty Throne in order to use this. This fits into any Slaves to Darkness list. So they get +3 to run, +3 to charge. You can also reroll wound rolls in its combat that turn, but that's not as important. That's nice. That's nice, especially when we're getting an extra attack and stuff. That might help, but that's not what we're doing. This, all right? Right? We want run and charge. Get up. This is like +6 on our run and charge turn, +6 to our range. It's nuts. All right. So then we're gonna get going even faster. Ogres love Kragnos, right? Kragnos is 3d6 charges. We've got that too. We've got Demonic Speed. Now, this is a spell that goes off in a 7. I know up here it says 6. That's a typo. If you look in the FAQ, that's actually now a 7. But we've still got our heroic action, where we're able to roll 3d6 and choose the best 2 in order to do our casting. So it's very castable. And what it does is you pick your unit. It must have a mount. And if you go back to the Chaos Chariot War Scroll, you'll see it says mount. This unit's war steeds are armed with trampling hooves. It's got a mount. It counts as a mounted unit. All right, going back. So we can target the Chaos Chariot. And what that means is you can try a charge when you're within 18, and you'll roll 3d6 instead of 2d6. So that's average. That's on average adding another 3.5 to our charge roll. On average, it could be a 6. Right, so that's awesome. We're adding more and more to our charges. And this is the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. It's our cheapest wizard. It's probably our best choice for doing this because he brings extra utility. He's going to give a ward roll to something. You probably don't want to give the ward roll to the Chaos Chariot. It's just going to die. It's 7 wounds. Who cares? So he can give the ward save to someone else and at the same time be buffing up your Chaos Chariot. Really cool. And he gets... Oh no, I was going to say he also gets a spell, but this is a spell. He's casting Demonic Speed. All right, so let's do the maths. Our range. What's our range with this? Like this, we're calling this a ranged attack. Or this is our shooting, right? Right. So we've got base 12-inch movement. We want to know our range. How far does this shot go? 12-inch movement base. We're gonna auto run to get a 6, and then it's +3, and then that's giving us plus 9 to our 12. So we're already at 21. Then we've got a 3d6 +3 charge. Now the way I calculate this, if you're just rolling that one time and adding 3, that's 13.5. But with my calculations, it's about 14.7 with the reroll. I could be wrong. I'm no mathematician. So a 14.7 on the charge. We'll round up to 15. That means you've got a 36-inch range, roughly. It could be higher, it could be less, but about a 36-inch range. That is plenty. You do not need that much. It is lots of range. Okay. Well, what's the damage then? What's the damage when we're doing this? How much damage are we doing? So again, 3d6 +3 rerollable. I average that to be about 15. We're going to throw 15 dice, and every 5 up is a mortal wound. So that averages about 5 mortal wounds. That's really cool. This is likely one-shotting any little support heroes, and it's not too hard to get around whatever formation and get behind. You got to remember, though, the Chaos Chariot is quite a big base, so this is maybe more useful for stacking maybe 2 chariots, 3 chariots at the same time, though they're not going to all get the buffs. But you could put several in at the same time and just boom, hit a monster. You know, if you've got one doing the max roll and then 2 more just doing normal rolls, you're going to get about 9, 10 mortal wounds. And then they're attacking, you know. So this is a lot of potential mortal wound damage, which is what we need. It's what we don't have. If you come up against Kragnos with his 2-up armor save, doing his best day ever, doing all that defense, maybe he's got a mystic shield. It's so hard for us to crack that. Not with this. This is an awesome tool for Saves to Darkness. All right, so these are my final thoughts, okay? Where is this useful? Gives us our mortal wound damage. This is so good for supporting our other armies. If you're doing a list based on your cavalry, your vanguard, and things like that, then it's so good to put this in, because if the Bloodstoker's not buffing your chariots, then he can buff your Vanguard, he can buff your Chaos Knights. Same for the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. And they go where the Vanguard and the Knights don't want to go. These guys clear screens. These guys kill Kragnos. These guys kill any high armor target. They are just an extra tool in the toolbox that hits everything which Knights and Vanguard do not hit. And that's why this is an awesome thing to put in your list. I'm personally going to be adding 2 Bloodstokers along with a Chaos Sorcerer Lord, so that one's getting the 3d6 and the other one's just 2d6, each of them plus 3 to charge. And then I'm going to run 3 to 4 Chaos Chariots. And the times that I'm not shooting chariots, I'm shooting Knights up the table. And I'm just going to be like pew, 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 and just absolutely zooming over everything. I'm super excited to be playing this list. I hope you're excited too. So from the Pointy Ears podcast, see ya. Glad that you tuned in today. Bye.